Dawn, and I want to share with you today one of my favorite masks. This is actually one of the first masks that I made in late March, and I worked with my friend Trina from the Cleveland Clinic on this, and we wanted to create something that had a built-in filter and that it was safe and could be worn right over an N95 mask. And so I came up with this design, the cup mask. Decorative layer of cotton on the outside and a layer of quilted batting, diamond batting on the inside, and butterfingers there. If I open this up, you can see that there is a layer of filter in there. 2 layers of cotton, it's quilted. Makes a beautiful mask, and it also eliminates the need for putting a filter in and out. You can simply just wash the mask, and everything's 100% cotton. The diamond they use, the quilted diamond they use for baby blankets. So I can't imagine anything that would be more safe than that. That being said, we have 4 pieces for our pattern. We have 2 layers of a decorative fabric, and we have 2 layers of the quilted batting that we're going to use. And I have a wire, 22 gauge wire, bent on both sides to make it not sharp and comfortable. And then I use 1 wrap Velcro on the ends to connect. 1 wrap Velcro is male on one side and female on the other side. It's a great product. It's different than regular Velcro. And I buy it 1.5 inches wide. I cut it down to half of that, which is 3/4 of an inch, and then I cut it again to 3/8 of an inch by 3 inches long. So that is necessary product. You can also make the ties so that they tie, but I prefer the Velcro for a million reasons, and we'll talk about that later. So we are going to make our own bias tape by cutting a 2-inch strip of fabric, and you do not need to cut this on the bias. Traditional bias tape is cut on the diagonal. In this case, we do not need to do that. All we need is our bias tape maker, and there's a link below for the bias tape maker, and we are going to cut on a diagonal. It helps us feed into the bias tape maker a little easier, and we're going to feed our fabric in there, and we're just going to pull our fabric through, and it's a very easy process. And then I'm going to use my iron and a little bit of magic and heat, and we're going to create a beautiful strip of bias tape here. So, and all I need to do is just pull this bias tape forward. Myself, I like to put my fingers here a little bit just to make sure that I'm getting a nice closed piece of bias tape. So when I go back to fold it, everything's matching up really nicely. And then when you come back around, and I'm not going to do this entire piece, so I want to save some time. When you come back around, you want to make sure that when you go to fold this to make your 1/2 inch bias tape, that you're leaving a little bit of a lip so that one side is bigger than the other. And the way that I do that is I put my finger in here in the middle and my middle finger and my thumb on the outside, and I'm just pulling it a little bit using the weight of the iron. And I'm just pulling it and ironing it and making sure that I'm creating just the tiniest of a little lip there so that one side of the bias tape is smaller than the other. And what you should end up with is something that looks like that. And you can see, hopefully in the camera, and I may even be able to use this little piece of Velcro to show you the difference, that there's a little lip there. Just a small, tiny lip. All right, we're ready to sew. Okay, ladies, I am going to sew this diamond filter face mask for you. Sewing at 12 stitches per inch, straight stitch at 1/4 inch. I'm going to take that curved edge and I'm going to use my pinking shears, and I am going to trim that just like I would with my other convertible face mask, the summer version. These pinking shears are just a little bit tight. I need to get some wax paper, and that will loosen them up. I just keep forgetting to buy it. Okay, fantastic. And at this point, all I'm going to do is take the wrong side of the diamond and the wrong side of the cotton, and I'm going to put them together. And it's pretty simple. It's just wrong sides together and then turn and fold. And again, I don't really need any pins for this, but if you feel more comfortable pinning, you can do that. All I'm going to do is run a straight stitch based all the way around, and I'm just going to flatten the fabric as I go. I'm just going to trim that excess off, and my cup is ready to go. Now I'm going to sew in my bias tape with the small side up across the nose brim of the mask, and you can mark that when you cut it. I'm used to seeing it, so got a little bit of extra bias tape. I'm just going to cut that off. Don't need it. And I am going to trim it flush with the mask here as well. And I need a piece of wire because I did not cut this prior to this particular mask. And so I am just going to cut at 5 inches with wire cutters. Does not have to be exact. Close is good. And I'm just going to smooth that floral wire out as much as I possibly can with my hands. And then I'm going to take the pliers, just bend it to about 1/2 inch, and I'm going to try and get that as tight as possible. It's close, and it'll fight you a little bit sometimes, but just be patient. Sewing is about being patient. Crafting, sewing, crocheting, all of it. It's therapy for our soul. We should be taking our time and enjoying the creative process. Okay, so there we go. That worked well. And now all I have to do is take my wire and just put it right into the casing for the nose bridge. I am not going to sew that in because when I put it in, I'm going to make sure that it's equal on each side, and I'm just going to bend it. And that bend across the nose is actually going to keep it in place. There's no reason for you to sew that in. Now I have my 31-inch strip. I've marked with a pin halfway so that I know, and I have also cut the ends on a diagonal because that's going to make it very easy for me. I'm going to make sure that the shorter end of the lip is facing me, and I am going to just tuck that down and fold, and I am going to start finishing my mask. There we go. Holding those threads. Just holding them taut makes all the difference. Now I'm going to sew in the male Velcro that I've cut down to 3/8 of an inch. I buy it at 1.5 inch, and then I cut it 3 inches and then cut it long ways to 3/4 of an inch, and then I cut it long ways again to 3/8 of an inch. And that way I can save money. And pivot. And pivot. You could finish the mask and then sew in the Velcro, but I'm the streamline girl. I want to streamline everything and do it all at once and save as much time as possible. And I'm sewing just under 3/8 of an inch so I can catch that lip. I'm actually using the presser foot as my guide. And I'm seeing my pin come up, so I know that that pin has to match with the center of my mask. I'm just going to trim that excess out of there. I want to make sure that this matches up. You can pin it if you like. I've gotten pretty good at eyeballing it. And because of the Velcro, you have 6 inches of playroom to work with. So you do not necessarily need it to be on point perfect as far as centering, as long as it's relatively close. It should work well for you. Around the right side of the mask, and I just want to make sure to take that diagonal, and I want to tuck it in and fold it, get it ready to be closed. Okay, I'm at the end of the mask. I'm going to put my needle up, I'm going to pull my threads, and I am going to flip that bias tape, and I want to sew in the female Velcro. And by flipping it, I know that I am sewing in on the opposite side. So I'm going to start sewing a little bit just to catch some fabric, and then I'm going to tuck that female Velcro in. Don't need to pin it. I'm going to use my pointer tool that I've had for like 15 years. look at it. I like to go backwards here. It's easier than going forwards. Okay, and that's done. That finishes the mask. I'm going to have my adopted daughter, Olivia, model a mask for you so that you can see what it looks like. I've made her a couple dozen. She's a hairstylist, so I made one special for her with a unique design on it. But there is our diamond filter face mask, and that is 100% cotton, and you can just throw it in the wash. It's easy breezy, sews fast, and I have literally made thousands of them. All right, ladies, thank you so much for being with me today. Ladies and gents, be well. If you enjoyed what you learned today, please subscribe to our channel. Give us a shout out. Any questions, leave them in the comments. Thank you so much. God bless. Be well.